Bro Show.
Have a day, Bro Nation. Welcome to the Bro Show, where we talk about everything and anything and try to make sense of what's happening. The Bro Show is always being brought to us by Evian Natural Spring Water. Water the way nature intended. Ng Jack in the Box all-day breakfast, breakfast all the way. Ng Godfather shoes, uniquely handcrafted, especially made just for you. And the Medical City, where patients are partners for your next medical travel to the Philippines. Visit our local office here in Tamuning or call Ate Raquel at 988-8627. Choose Philippines, choose the Medical City. We are your professional barkada. Magandang umaga. My name is DJ Dudes, your true Manila man, and I am with the Moneyball, the Professor Matt Lesser Batel. Prof, good morning.
Good morning, DJ Dudes. Half a day, happy Friday sa ating mga tagapakinig. And sana magdilang anghel ka, Moneyball. Sana swertehin tayo. But alam mo, ang mga kababayan nating nakikinig ngayon ay talagang sinuswerte sapagkat we are in the presence of financial greatness. What can I say? I will spill the beans if nagtuloy-tuloy pa ako. Kaya DJ Dudes, take it away.
Yes, financial greatness, so humble, so giving, and so caring. Mega Mixers, bros and sis, we're so excited to have this gentleman here in our show. He is a powerful speaker, author, and entrepreneur. He is the president and CEO of Ramper Financials, a very dynamic niche player in the financial services industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the true people, caring mentor, Mr. Rex Mendoza. Sir Rex, good morning po sa inyo and have a day.
Good morning. Awesome day, DJ Dudes. Awesome day, Professor. Really honored to be here. I'm really so happy that I'm part of your show.
Sir Rex, maraming salamat po. I know you are such a busy guy, but you find time para i-share ang inyong knowledge, ang inyong oras po sa amin dito sa Bro Show and lalong-lalo na po sa ating mga kababayan po dito sa Guam. Sir, marami na po kayong beses na bisita, nadalaw po dito sa Guam. We miss you. Kailan po ba ang chance na makabalik kayo dito sa isla?
Ako, I would love to. Actually, like I shared with you, there was a time when I was there minimum three times a year when I did work for Ayala Land. Guam is a happy place for us. We have a lot of clients there, especially at that time when we shared opportunities for BGC and Makati. And I'm sure the people who invested at that time would be very, very happy today. They've made a lot of money dahil at that time, mura pa yung mga real estate propositions ng BGC. Now, with the prices going up, those people who actually trusted us with their money are probably going to be making a killing by now. So, alam mo, DJ Dudes, gusto kong bumalik pero alam mo naman, I'm in the Philippines right now and sabi ko nga, here we're going to be happy if we're just allowed to go out of the house. We're still on a lockdown and although they relaxed the quarantine protocols, we're now in alert level 3, it's not yet as open as we want it.
Well, Sir Rex, sana nga po sa pag-abuti pa ng mga sitwasyon natin, not just in the Philippines, not just here on the island, pero buong mundo, sana nga po ay makabalik kayo dito. And I'm sure, napakarami po natin mga kababayan na are excited to talk to you again and to learn a lot from Sir Rex Mendoza. Kasi si Sir Rex, ang dami talagang naibibigay na knowledge hindi lang sa investing pagdating sa real estate, investing pagdating sa bonds, stocks, pati sa iba't iba pang klase ng mga money vehicles, 'di ba? Professor, gustong-gusto pa nating makilala si Sir Rex Mendoza, but just a warm up sa personal level naman bago tayo talagang mag-usap tungkol kung paano ba tayo uunlad sa ating buhay. Professor, I'm going to give you the microphone. Let's do the fast talk.
All right. Sir Rex, mabilisan lang. First thing that comes out of your head, okay? Sige, sir. Last vacation spot that you went to?
Miniloc, El Nido.
Uy, El Nido. Ako, nakaka-excite bumalik dyan. Second, sir, a song that never fails to make you dance. Nagpapaindak sa inyo.
September. Medyo ano ba? This kind of dates me, ha? Medyo telling yata yung choice na yun, ha? Earth, Wind, and Fire pa yun.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. September. Disco Fever.
Disco, no? Bagay na bagay sa actually parang bagay sa Guam yun, 'di ba? With the like the beach feel and the swing. Okay. All right. Ito naman, very controversial question, sir. Ano ang paborito niyong palaman sa pandesal?
Oh, Nutella. Nutella.
Nutella. Oh.
Ngayon yun. Ngayon na medyo okay na tayo. But when I was a lot younger, I will always remember butter at saka sugar. Lalagyan ko ng butter and sugar. Kasi sweet tooth talaga ako eh. But now, medyo may kaya tayo ng konti. Nakakabili na ako ng yung Nutella spread kasi chocolate monster din ako eh.
Masarap talaga yan.
Masarap talaga.
Masarap talaga yan. Mm-hmm.
Mapasaging, saging, di ba? Masarap din sa saging. Alright. Fourth question, Sir Rex. Favorite book na palagi niyong binabasa? Like, kahit nabasa niya, babasahin niyo pa uli.
Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
Oh,
Alam mo,
Tony Robbins.
hindi ko lang binabasa, Professor. I have the book, I have the tapes, cassette tapes, and I even have the CDs. So, kasi meron siyang mga workshop doon na, you know, time and time again, after a few months, I go back, I do a certain workshop, and pag when your life changes a little bit, it will give you another angle or perspective that's very different from the time you read it last. So, it's always a position of growth. Ika nga. So, I always go back to it time and again. And you know, I've dealt with a lot of the seminars of Tony Robbins. I go to the US. I've attended these, you know, major uplifting programs on a regular basis.
Great,
Sir,
great.
follow-up questions. Follow-up question. Gaano katangkad talaga si Tony Robbins?
Ang laki. Ang laki. Siguro, like, I'm going to be only up to his chest. When we had the time to chat, no, I think yun ang aking claim to fame, sort of, because I also told him that you know, he's an inspiration. You know, also the reason why I got myself into book writing, you know, apart from Brother Bo, who actually really pushed me to write. The likes of Tony Robbins, kasi he always felt, you know, you have to share with others your story of success, because that's the only way you can actually fuel your own growth moving forward. So talagang ang laki. Yung kamay niya, pag nag-shake hands kayo, parang baby hands yung kamay ko eh. Parang ang haba, lalaki ng daliri niya.
Gigantic man. I mean, not only in terms of speaking, but in terms of physical stature, no? So,
Yeah.
in terms of, so Sir Rex, meron kaming tanong dito. We call this the GOAT question. Now, you're in investing, you're a financial guru. Who for you is the greatest investor of all time?
Warren Buffett pa din ako. I really like the way his perspective goes for investing. He's rarely wrong. And if ever people say that he's wrong, over time he will be correct. That's what I like about him. He's very grounded. He's not a huge risk taker. And you know, it's something that you can really follow. Time-tested, classic investment concepts and principles that will never go old. That's what I like about him. Yeah, I always remember somebody asked him, I think Jeff Bezos was the one who asked him, why, you know, for all the simplest things that you do and you get rich this way, why can't people just copy you? Alam mo, sagot niya doon, you know, his answer was like really surprising. He says, you know, not a lot of people follow me because they don't want to get rich the slow way. You know, everybody wants to get rich fast. That's the reason why, you know, we do huge mistakes in the way we deal with our like investment journey, right? But as far as he's concerned, you know, you just give it time, full of patience, let the strategy unfold correctly. And I guess he is where he is. And then that's, you know, quite frankly, a track record that's very difficult to beat.
Mm-hmm. Sir Rex, tuloy ko na po yung question, okay? Tuloy ko na po yung inyong story. Ang sarap kausap ni Sir Rex, no? Fast talk pa lang tayo. Wala pa tayo dun sa mga talagang lessons natin, pero ang dami na natin natututunan. Sir Rex, sabi nyo, hardly people follow, financial gurus, successful investors, champions in the financial field. Kasi ayaw nila ng matagalan. Sort of like ang hirap kasi ng proseso. Now, my question, sir, meron bang paraan para mabilis talaga na yumaman?
Oh, siguro the easiest way is to look for a wife to be na mayaman na, di ba? So, yun ang pinakamabilis, di ba? So, sabi nga nila, there are only 4 ways eh, ha? 1, you marry it. 2, you inherit it. 3, you win the lotto, right? And 4, you save and invest wisely and continuously. Diba? So, those are the only 4 ways eh. So, the first 3 probably will be quick, but what's your probability of hitting it? In one radio station then I got interviewed in Hong Kong, no? Rico Hizon pa yun eh, one of our
Yes, sir.
talagang kababayans, no, na nasa broadcast kagaya nyo, galing din niya. Tinanong niya we were 3 guests, we were like 3 fund managers, one was from Hong Kong, one was from Singapore. The question was, what's the most popular investment instrument in your country? Diba? So, the guy from Singapore said it's the UITF. The guy from Hong Kong said, it's almost like that, but it's the MFS, which is a tax-free, almost like an IRA in the US, no? Ganun yung tema niya. Pagdating sa akin, natawa si Rico Hizon, sabi ko, it's the lotto ticket eh. Kasi yun talaga yung pinipilahan. It's not charity anymore. It's not gambling. Kasi alaga yung numero eh. Alaga every week tinatayaan eh. So that's basically investing. You're hoping to make a withdrawal one day, but what's your probability? It's 1/14 million. Alam mo ba yung 1/14 million? That's the probability of getting hit by lightning twice on the same spot. Right? So, tanong ko sa marami, ilang taon na kayo? Di ba? Ilang taon na kayo? Tinamaan na ba kayo ng kidlat? Okay? Kasi kung hindi pa kayo tinatamaan ng kidlat, huwag kayo aalis dyan. Kailangan tamaan ka pa uli. Di ba? Pag tinamaan ka once. So, yun ang sinasabi ko about Warren Buffett. It's the continuous, sustainable way of investing. And that actually works eh. Kailangan lang talaga, real discipline, real tiyaga. Yun naman ang importante.
It's a question of probability. Sige, baka aring makachamba, pero kapag nagsikap ka, mas sigurado pa yun eh. Ang ganda na sinabi ni Sir. Professor, go ahead.
Yeah, see, Sir Rex has mentioned about the slow and steady really approach on getting rich. But a lot of our kababayans are very interested. You're a very successful executive, investor, and CEO of your own company. But when you were still starting, when you were still a kid, have you always wanted to be an investor? Or ano ba yung una yung naging pangarap when you were still starting and as a kid?
Professor, sa akin, I will really have to admit a lot of things. I wasn't like this eh. My dreams were very simple. We lived in Sampaloc. My parents are both government employees. Yung sideline nila would be jeepneys. So, ang kasama ko sa bahay, sa garahe, mga jeepney driver. So, that's the kind of environment that I had. So, my perspective was also very simple. If I have, at that time, if I have maybe a managerial job in a bank or a financial institution, a wife, 2 kids, a good little house, and 1 car, I'll be happy. Yun eh. I think that's where I started. But as you studied, diba, I got myself into UP, medyo iba na yung circles mo, iba na yung mga kaibigan mo, iba na yung mga usapan, and then you have, the mentoring of professors, real good ones. Then you feel there's a little bit of ambition getting injected in you. So, medyo tumataas yung pangarap mo now, hindi na pwede yung manager ka lang ng bangko. Siguro, graduate ka ng UP, you have to be a little bigger than that. So, when I got into the corporate world, then I realized, okay pala maging CEO. So, parang doon ako nag-nurture ng idea na, I just can't be an executive. I should be a CEO. And then I took up my master's in AIM. Pagdating mo sa AIM, not a lot of those people are into corporate. They always say, Rex, alam mo yung corporate, titles are nice. They give you the CEO title, but they don't give you a lot of money. You really want to succeed financially, get into business. You look at my calling card, sabi niya, Chinese ito ha, I don't have a title, but I own the company. So whatever the company earns is mine. So yan, na-nurture din yung entrepreneurship. So now if you're going to look at it, I have diverse investments in very different industries. Name it, real estate, technology, events management, retail. I'm also into financial services where I'm like really big at. But I guess it's that process that I will have to share na hindi ako nag-umpisa na, ganun na agad yung mindset ko. That's why, I tell a lot of people and even my kids, this is one of the things I tell my kids, be conscious of the friends you choose. Kasi yung friends mo, yan ang magbabago ng pananaw mo eh. So as I grew from the little boy in Sampaloc, I've gone through changes in terms of friends that I hang out with. I tell people the average of the 5 persons you hang out with will be your net worth. Okay? So kung hindi ka satisfied doon, dapat maghanap ka ng panibagong friends who would probably inspire you to grow and develop yourself. Now, I'm not saying iiwan mo na yung mga kaibigan mo. No, you're still
Sir,
gonna...
friend ko na nga yung iba ngayon eh.
hindi mo naman sila iiwan, kaibigan mo pa rin sila, but you're now gonna try and spend more time with people who actually inspire you. Kasi kung ikaw na ang pinakamatalino at ikaw ang pinakamayaman sa isang grupo, you have to leave that group because you're not gonna get anywhere. Kasi 'di ba ikaw na yung parang kumbaga sa tuwing may huddle kayo, wino-worship ka na nila eh. So who's gonna give you the growth? Who's gonna give you the next level? So yun yung akin. So parang ngayon, fast forward, I'm now, somehow successful business person, a successful corporate director. I'm a director of, maniniwala ba kayo, 19 companies. 4 of those are listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange. Big ones, Globe, Ayala Land Logistics, National Reinsurance. So kahit pa paano may success ka doon, So if I linger with friends who look up to me, then who do I look up to? Kaya ngayon, I spend a lot of time. I'm sure you know Brother Bo Sanchez.
Mhm.
So we have what we call a mastermind group. So pinagmamalaki ko, kasama ko dyan si Edward Lee, who's the Call Financials yan, di ba?
Oh, yeah.
Si Rampver, DJ Dudes, pinagmamalaki namin si Rampver, 40,000 clients, over 10 billion in assets under management.
Wow.
Pero pag tumabi ako kay Edward, si Edward has over 300,000 clients and over 200 plus billion in assets. So, di ba? Kahit hindi kami magkalayo ng age, I like to be like him when I grow up. Di ba? Parang gano'n. may process of osmosis, They get to teach you, they get to make you think more out of the box, Parang nagkakaroon ng inspiration, ika nga.
Ang sipag ni Sir. Bukod sa masipag siya mag-aral, kitang-kita natin na ang sipag niya rin mag-share. Okay? Minamahal niya yung mga kaibigan niya, minamahal niya yung mga taong nasa paligid niya. But Sir, ang napakahalaga nung napulot namin sa inyo, let's not forget ourselves. Diba? Kailangan mo mag-grow. Diba? You have to find people who will let you grow. Salamat, Sir. Ang ganda nung sinabi niyo. Sir, babalik ako dun sa kanina natin na pag-usapan because we are still in the pandemic. We are in a very heart of the pandemic. Although may mga development, hindi natin alam parang urong sulong. May mag-i-improve, biglang parang babalik ulit tayo sa square one. So hindi talaga natin masabi kung ano yung future. And then, ngayon ang mga tao na nasa pandemic, parang na-open po tayo sa dalawang polarizing mindset. Na intindihan natin kung gaano talaga kahalaga ang magkaroon ng pera. And then at the same time, parang ang dami na nakaisip na, hindi talaga ganun kahalaga ang pera. Kasi syempre, nandiyan ang ating kalusugan, which is, of course, far more important. Pero Sir, lagi nating nadidinig yung, yung kasabihan na money can buy happiness, pero neither poverty. Diba? Hindi ka rin naman mapapasaya syempre kapag ikaw ay mahirap lang. Sir, from your wisdom, from your perspective, ano po ang relationship ng money and happiness?
Wow. That's Ewan ko, DJ Dudes, maybe this is no accident, no, but it's something that I share with a lot of people. My own concept, ha? I mean, I'm gonna tell everyone opinion ko ito, no. I can be wrong for some of you. Some of you might bash me for what I'm gonna say, but let me tell you quite straight. Money and happiness are not connected. There is no connection. You can be money then happy, money then unhappy. You can be poor and happy, poor and unhappy. Di ba? Pwede lahat yung combination na yun eh. Ang tanong na mas relevant, DJ Dudes, anong gusto mo? Di ba? Anong gusto mo? Kasi lahat naman ng mahirap, may problema eh. Ang mayaman may problema din. Anong klaseng problema gusto mo? Di ba? Oh, di ba? Parang ganon. Yung mahirap, syempre, wala siyang pera, pinoproblema niya, anong papakain niya sa pamilya niya, paano niya papaaralin yung matalinong anak niya, di ba? Yung mayaman may problema din yun. Ako sometimes, I before the pandemic when I go to the office and I have meetings ganyan, naka-black suit ako eh. Gusto ko ng black car, di ba? Problema ko, late na ako, yung itim kong kotse na harangan ng 8. Di ba? So parang malilate ako dahil kailangan ko pa ilabas yung 8 kotse bago ko magamit yung itim. So problema yan, di ba? Yan ang mga problema ko. So ang tanong, anong problema gusto mo? So I tell people sometimes it's a mindset game, really. A lot of us go from foolish settling. Alam mo magkaiba yun ha. Hindi yung contentment becomes a very hazy concept for a lot of people. There is a difference between foolish settling and wise contentment. Wise contentment is trying your best to achieve whatever you want to achieve and being happy with what you have. Pero yung foolish settling is, sasabihin mo, gusto ko simple lang buhay ko eh. Pero alam mo, kaya mo pang magbigay ng mas matindi dyan para umasenso ka. Pero hindi mo binibigay dahil iniisip mo sa sarili mo, you're self-discriminating para hindi ka masyado magtrabaho. Di ba? I tell a lot of people, you magnify the achievements of successful people like me because it gets you off the hook. Kasi extraordinary ako eh. Kasi ganito background ko, kasi ganyan ako eh. Ikaw hindi ka ganyan, kaya hindi ka kailangan lumipad. Mali yun eh. Di ba? Kasi I've seen people who are very simple, who are, coming from real humble beginnings. But they did even better than us. Alam mo Professor, sa Pilipinas, bilangin mo yung 5 Taipan. Lahat ng 5 yun, except for the Zobels, are from nothing. They were nothing. Yeah. Di ba? So, huwag mo sasabihin mas mataas yung pinag-aralan ni Henry C. sa'yo. O si Henry C. within his lifetime created the behemoth that's the SM Group. So, anong excuse mo? So, sa akin, let us make sure that we align 3 things. No? Number 1 is your talent. Di ba? God-given yan. Talent is God-given. Okay? We pray for that. We hope that we get to discover the talent that we have. Number 2 is a platform of opportunity. Kailangan meron kang makitang lugar kung saan magiging relevant yung talent mo. And that's partly God-given and that's partly your hard work. Dapat maghanap ka kung saan makikilala yung talent mo at kung magiging relevant, di ba? Mahirap yung talent mo nandito sa isang lugar na hindi naman nila if they don't find it valuable, they won't pay you. They won't give you the returns, right? And then lastly, if you have the right talent, you're in the right platform of opportunity, push effort. Yung effort, yun ang 100% ikaw. Walang God-given doon. Walang divine intervention doon. If you align all the 3, di ba? Then, ano magiging excuse mo not to become successful? So, yun ang sinasabi ko sa marami. That's a reason why I tell people, sometimes we get an excuse na huwag tayo mag-invest, medyo masama yung panahon, ganyan, or hindi natin kaya. There was a time when I can say that's true. Like you need $1 million to invest. Ngayon, alam mo bang as low as 1,000 pesos, pwede ka nang mag-umpisa, 1,000 a month. Meron nga diyang 50 pesos eh. Oh, so what's your excuse, di ba? And a lot of people have actually succeeded. I just shared the story of our colleague with you, si Jung Fernando. I mean, walang pinagmulan yan. HR ang background yan. Gusto niyang, psychology. How did she become such a financial wizard also? Again, it's because of her interest and, the fact that he concentrated on becoming successful also. She put herself into it.
Ano, naalala ko
Miss
yung...
Jung.
Yeah, ay Miss Jung. Naalala ko yung sinabi ni Sir Rex, yung pag-i-invest. Alam mo, ay inabutan ko pa ata yung time na bago ka makapasok sa stock market, kailangan mo ng broker. At kailangan may minimum amount, no? Parang 100,000 ata. So talaga ang common na tao, hindi talaga makakapasok kung wala kang broker at wala kang ganong kalaking halaga. Pero ngayon, with online and all of these platforms, pwede na. Mas liberalize, kumbaga.
And you will
Similar
have
naman
your
sinabi ni-
elementary
Yes, Sir Rex.
steps. You don't have to get that big leap right now. Hindi mo kailangan yun na talagang 1 million agad. Habang nag-aaral ka, you can even start with funds where you have a fund manager, you don't understand it yet, so you can study, they can send you the data, they can send you information, pag-aaralan mo. Tapos pag lumaki na yung pera mo, you become more comfortable, then you can go directly into stock. So you can now do some asset allocation as you grow yourself and as you grow your portfolio. So ganun talaga dapat.
Ang sustansya ng mga sinabi sa atin ni Sir Rex, foolish settlement and then wise contentment. Tama po ba, sir?
Yes. Yes.
And then, of course, 3 things should be aligned. Your talent, your platform for your talent, and then you have to push your effort. Wala nang excuse. May mga avenues, may mga mentors tayo katulad ni Sir Rex Mendoza. Si Sir Rex, may team na makatutulong din sa atin. Sir, thank you po. Professor, you do have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, na-mention ni Sir Rex na talagang, kasi ang mga kababayan natin, nag-iisip na tama bang mag-invest sa mga panahon ngayon? Ang tanong siguro ng mga kababayan natin, lalo na ngayon panahon ng time ng COVID, is there a right time to invest? And is now the right time?
Professor, sa akin talaga, what we teach is the fact that investing has to be strategic. Investing has to be based on your goals, based on a real financial plan. So, ang context niya, hindi yan naaangkop with what's happening in the environment. So, whatever is happening to the economy, you have to do your own investing. Kasi you're doing this to fulfill your financial dreams, whether that's education for your kids, the house of your dreams for your family, funds for your business in the future, and maybe your retirement. What will sustain you after all of these hard work, right? So you have to set aside money and grow your portfolio to take care of all of these objectives. Ngayon, ang tanong ko sa marami, dahil ba nagka-COVID, may excuse ka na hindi mo pa aralin yung anak mo, hindi ka magre-retire. You cannot stop the realization of your objectives. The objectives are there. So through hell or high water, you have to be able to come up with what I call a sound investment strategy. And the real talagang irony here, I'm really gonna call it an irony. Kasi a lot of people would think, pag masama ang panahon, may pandemic, kailangan wag muna tayo mag-invest. Baliktad na baliktad. Kasi alam nyo this kind of dates me, pero I've been investing for over 4 decades now. Diba? Every 10 years, may talagang crisis naman. Hindi naman ito napaka-unprecedented. Well, it's a health crisis, so unless you're alive in the 1900s with the Spanish flu, you haven't experienced one. Fine. But the monetary, the fiscal, the investment issues, they're the same. 2008, we had the global financial crisis. 1997, we had the Asian financial crisis. Ang point dun ganito, balikan mo lahat ng yun. It will show you a few facts that you cannot, sabi ko nga, incontrovertible. Number 1, the fact that they will come to pass. Lahat naman ng crisis lumilipas . Yan ba permanent yan? Pervasive? No. Lilipas yan. So it's a matter of time. Di ba? And number 2, what crisis wasn't followed by a recovery? Di ba? Pag lumipas yung crisis, magre-recover . Which means, the best time to position is during a crisis. Because that's when all investments are cheap. Because no one's looking at them. Di ba? So sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, again, idol talaga . Buy and invest when there's blood on the streets. Di ba? Kasi we're managed by our emotions . That's the reason why CFOs of companies, they always do well for their company kasi very objective yung function. Pero pag para sa sarili nila, they don't do very well. Why? Because there's greed, there's fear, there's emotion that clouds your mind. Hindi ka objective, di ba? So ngayon, even for our money, let's try to be objective investors. Let's focus on our financial objectives, goals and dreams. Then we match this with our risk appetite para kahit papano magkaroon man ng turbulence, hindi ka masyadong kakabahan, match yung portfolio mo sa risk mo. And then lastly, match din sa horizon mo. Di ba? Wait, kasi alam nyo, ang perspective nagbabago if you have a difference in horizon. Tingnan mo Professor, kung if I invest today and I'm thinking, what will my money be in December? Problema yan. Kasi the market is volatile. So pag pang Christmas shopping ko yung pera, dapat hindi ko na yan ilagay sa stock market, di ba? Pero if I'm like, let's say, 50 today, and I'm gonna retire at age 60, that's a horizon of 10 years. Why won't I invest today? Kahit maging volatile yan in the next 2 to 3 years, sigurado ko, 3 years from now, hindi na natin pinag-uusapan ng COVID. Maybe we're talking about a new problem and stuff like that. But at that particular time, maririnig nyo na naman yung dalawang pinakasikat na Tagalog words in the realm of investing and finance. Alam niyo yung dalawang Tagalog words na yun?
Ano po
Double
yun,
S
sir?
yun. Sayang, sana. Diba? Sayang, sana. We heard a lot of people say this in 2012, 2011. We hear them say it in 2001, 2002, after 97. Kasi bumabawi talaga ngayon, binigyan ka na naman ng pagkakataon, this is a new crisis, pinasasakay ka na naman. Bakit hindi tayo sumusunod? I mean, history repeats itself but people seldom learn. Yun lang naman yung akin. Kaya nandito ako talagang, I even consider myself a nagger for a lot of Filipinos. I really nag them Talagang, just believe what you've set forth to do. Yun ang importante. Kahit anong mangyari dyan, babalik at babalik yan. Huwag kang mag-alala. Just concentrate on it.
Sir, thank you for nagging. Kailangan po natin yan.
Kailangan
Kailangan
talaga
talaga
yan.
may mag-ahon Di ba? May magpukpok. Kailangan talaga may magturo. Kailangan talaga may magpaalala. Sir, ang ganda nung sinabi niyo, sayang at sana. Pwedeng title ng kanta yan. Sayang at sana. Sir, tuloy po natin, okay? For an ordinary person, paano po magkakaroon? Saan magsisimula para magkaroon tayo ng sound financial strategy? For example, for an ordinary kababayan, for an ordinary Juan, medyo napakalimitado ng kaalaman sa pera, basic lang siguro, hindi alam kung saan magsisimula po. Paano po ba?
Well, pag nag-uumpisa ka, first things first, syempre, wala ka pang investment portfolio. You'll have to start with the basics. Para sa akin talaga, ang pinaka-importante muna is an emergency fund. Okay? An emergency fund will make you stable in the midst of potential volatility in the market or potential gyrations in your own life. Kasi alam nyo, kanya-kanya tayong emergency, di ba? May nangyayari sa mahal natin sa buhay, may nangyayari sa atin. What's our recourse when we don't have emergency funds? We borrow. Kaya karamihan ng Pilipino, deficit spending. Di ba? Deficit spending. Kasi every time may mangyaring emergency, utang yan. Hindi pa tapos magbayad ng utang, may emergency na naman. So, ang nangyayari, ang sagot mo sa lahat ng ganong occasion is debt. And then before you know it, niro-roll over mo yung debt na yan. Tapos para ka nang nasa treadmill. You work to pay for your debts. So dapat may emergency fund ka which should be anywhere from 3 times to 6 times your monthly salary. So can you just imagine if you have something set aside, may nangyaring emergency, hindi ka maaantig, hindi ba? So now, because you have emergency funds, you can go now to the next level which would be growth investing. Why? Kasi kung may mangyari, hindi ka kailangan magbenta. See, a lot of people, they're scared of investing kasi baka kailanganin ko yung pera tapos bagsak yung market, edi lugi ako. Kung may emergency funds ka, may pagdodrawan ka ng kailangan mong funds, you don't need to sell your long-term assets. So now you can start with mutual funds. So after the basics, medyo sinabi na natin yung safety and security muna. Now, I forget. Kung empleyado ka, okay lang. You'll probably have group insurance coverage, medical, from your company. But if you're a businessman at walang ganun, dapat bumili ka din. Kasi, medical and all of these contingencies, they can wipe you out. They can wipe you out. Pag may nangyaring masama sa'yo, critical illness, they can wipe you out. So, take it from a risk to an operating expense. Eh di ba yung operating expense, magbabayad ka ng karampot na premium, kung may mangyari, covered ka. So yun ang security start. Then you move on to the next, may growth ka na. So kung hindi ka masyado nakakaintindi, you can deal with mutual funds, you can deal with what we call investment funds, no, managed funds. So you have a fund manager. Kung risk taker ka at growth ang position mo, you can choose an equity fund. So they will invest in the growth sectors of the economy, yung mga magtatamasa, no, the people who will win during the recovery, ganyan. So hindi po siya kailangan bantayan. Ang kailangan mo lang siya investan kasi may manager, may fund manager, no. You will be paying fees, but that's okay kasi the fund manager does his job. Now, after a while, you take, somehow you take some expertise already, you take some acumen from it, nagkaroon ka na ng experience, then you can now invest in your own stocks. So gagraduate ka na. Dati kanina sa funds bumabakas ka pa lang. Di ba? Ngayon, pwede ka na rin mag-umpisa on your own. You can now invest in stocks as well. Kasi ang stocks naman ngayon siguro for 25,000, 50,000 set aside, you can start a stock portfolio. Then you move on to what we call, nandito ka na, tataas ka na ngayon sa hard assets, real estate, land. Di ba yan talagang, kumbaga sa long term, ipit-ipitan talaga yan. So unless you are secure with your liquidity, di ba, you're not supposed to go to assets like this kasi baka maipit ka. Di ba? Baka you might be selling this for such a bargain because you need money. So kailangan talagang, this is what I call a wealth accumulation pyramid. So you start with security and safety products. You now go into long-term assets, long-term what you call these investments. Then you move on to more speculative, highly, parang high earning propositions. And diyan ko mailalagay ngayon, I'm sure sikat na sikat din ito sa Guam, yung mga cryptocurrencies, hindi ba? So a lot of these millennials, these young people are enamored by this new investment class. And ang worry ko lang, naglalagay tayo ng pera sa hindi natin naiintindihan. Understand everything where you put your money. Kasi mahirap yung lagay ka ng lagay, hindi mo naman pala alam. And then you will lose the money, you don't even understand how and why you lost it. Diba? So yun ang sagot ko sa iyo, DJ Dudes. Parang step by step lang. You always, sabi nga natin, graduate, depending on your capability, your expertise, and your knowledge. And syempre, the amount of money din na itatabi mo para meron ka ring tinatawag na degree of comfort.
Sir, you are really pinching a nerve here. Ang ganda po ng pagkakapaliwanag nyo kanina na kapag nagkaroon ng pangangailangan ng emergency, ang una nating nagagawa, particularly tayo mga Pinoy, mangutang. Kapag nagkaroon ng malaking problema, nagbebenta naman ng asset. But if we are going to trust the process, malalagpasan natin lahat yan. And we will have financial security. Sir, tama po ba? We have to start with an emergency fund and then after noon, dun tayo sa mga growth investments naman before, of course, stepping onto the higher rungs of investments. Ang ganda.
Yeah. Yung emergency funds, yan yung mga nasa bangko. Yan yung mga, use an ATM account for that. Minsan na time deposit na, 90 days, 30 days, di ba? For your emergency fund. Kasi anytime kailanganin mo, madaling kunin sa bangko. Hindi siya growth position na pwedeng volatile yung movement. Fixed income siya. Para hindi ka malulugi anytime you will need it.
Thank you po, Sir Rex. Professor?
Yeah, isa pa sa magandang nasabi ni Sir Rex is that investing is always based on your horizon. Pero para naman po sa mga kababayan natin na alam niyo po, nasa within 5 to 10 years of retiring, ano po ang masasabi niyo or maipapayo niyo on how they would actually save and invest para po dun sa medyo nandun na sa puntong gano'n ng kanilang karera na hindi pa nakakapag-invest?
Okay, 10 years is still long, Professor. Para sa akin, 10 years is some space where you can still make a growth portfolio maybe until about the 5th year. Kasi alam mo, as you near your retirement, you have to dial down on the risk. Let's face it, di ba? Can you just imagine what could have happened? Magre-retire ka, tapos yung pera mo nakalagay sa growth instruments. March of 2020 ka nag-retire. So all of a sudden, biglang nangalahati yung retirement kitty mo, di ba? So dapat yan, as I've said, you invest for goals, you don't invest because of what's happening to the environment. Kasi sino ba naman ang nakapagsabing magkakaroon ng pandemic? 'Di ba? So what you could have done is invest for growth, pero pag malapit na yung retirement mo, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years into retirement, dapat paliit na ng paliit yung risk position. Dapat nagiging from growth, which would be equity-laced, medyo napupunta ka na nga doon sa tinatawag nating safety and defensive assets, which are bonds. Maybe sa stocks meron pa rin konti, pero ang tawag dyan, REITs, yung Real Estate Investment Trust, no? Para yung mutual fund ng real estate. Kasi dire-diretso ang bayad niya ng dividendo. So kung retiree ka, ang importante doon yung cash flow eh. 'Di ba? So dapat hindi ka nagkukulang sa cash flow. Kasi alam mo, retirement for me, very important that people understand this. Retirement should be non-negotiable and should be a matter of a final decision. Kasi sa akin, ang retirement is not an age. Retirement is a time of capability. Kaya mo na ba? Kasi kung 40 ka lang, pero meron kang investments that will give you like 200,000 a month, di ba kaya mo namang mag-retire eh? Hindi ka kailangan maghintay ng 65 just because sinabihan ka na 65 ang retirement age. Pwede kang mag-retire. Now, for me, retirement is not active involvement. Again, separate na naman yan. Parang money and happiness yan. Kasi retired ka na from needing a job where you need to earn money. Doon ka nagre-retire. Kasi hindi mo na kailangan yung pera. You have money at work. Money is working for you already. But you will still work. Why? Because you want to. Not because you have to. Diba? Yun ang gusto kong i-share sa mga tao. Like, my situation today, I don't probably have to work for the money, but I'm working for a purpose. It's something that gives me excitement every day as I make a difference in people's lives. Pero, I'm working because I want to, not because I have to. Magkaiba yun eh. Kasi meron akong investment assets that actually pay me a salary. Alam nyo money is the best employee. It doesn't complain. It works 24 hours a day. Di ba? And then, again, balik na naman tayo kay Warren Buffett. Ang sabi ni Warren Buffett, ganito if you cannot make money on your sleep, you will work until the day you die. Ulitin ko yun, very important yun. If you don't make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. So, kailangan daw mag-set aside ka ng tinatawag na money at work so that yung active income mo sometime in the future will be replaced by passive income. So when you're earning passive income from your investments, then your active self can stop working. So you can do hobbies, you can do the things you like to do, you can do civic work. Hindi ka nag-iintay ng sweldo kasi may iba ng sweldo na pinanggagalingan yung pangangailangan mo natutustusan na ng ibang bagay. So yun yung sa akin. That's the reason why I like people like 10 years. Sige, growth muna tayo. First 5 years, then we begin to dial it down. And then when we dial it down, at a certain point, fixed na yan lahat. Almost guaranteed na kung maaari.
So Rex, thank you so much. And for our listeners, to our bros and sis, if you have just turn on the radio, if you just tune into Megamix 101.9 FM, we are interviewing a very brilliant, caring, and of course one of the most successful financial gurus we have in the Philippines, Mr. Rex Mendoza. Sir Rex, I guess a follow-up question sa lahat po ng mga nasabi nyo. Based on your book, by the way, of course, such a great author as well. I have one of his books. It's called Firing on All Cylinders, authored by, of course, none other than Mr. Rex Mendoza. Dami natin matututunan dito. Sir Rex, you mentioned na financial planning is not about money. That is very surprising. Financial planning, hindi tungkol sa pera. Sir Rex, tungkol po saan, bale, ang financial planning?
That's again the irony of it, di ba? Kasi financial planning is about life. It's not about money. It's about life. I mean, what do you want to get out of your life? What are the dreams and goals you want to fulfill? What are the achievements you want to have? Kasi we want fulfilled lives, fulfilled and meaningful lives. Now, money is just a tool. Money is a tool. It's not the end goal. Di ba? Money is supposed to be there to fuel the life that you want to live. Right? So, ako nga, inaano ko yan I translate that into a real definition of financial wellness. Sometimes we talk about financial wellness and it comes out as a punchline. Pero pag tanungin mo ang Pilipino, ano ba? What's financial wellness for you? Hindi niya ma-define eh. So ang problema ko, how can you be something you cannot even define? How can you achieve something you can't even say what it is, di ba? So dapat, isipin natin, financial wellness is financial security and financial freedom of choice today and in the future. So, malaking bagay yun ha. Security means covering all of your obligations, answering all the needs of your loved ones. You're secure. Not just today, but in the future. Pero mas mabigat yung pangalawa eh. Yung pangalawa is the financial freedom of choice. Getting what you want, when you want it, wherever you want it. So, if you're going to be getting financial freedom of choice today and in the future, what should you need to do to assure your wellness? Diba? So, it's the money that will fuel it. Pero at the end of the day, it's your life choices, it's your freedom of choice. Lagi ko sinasabi, alam mo, masarap ang tuyot kamatis eh. Pero hindi araw-araw. Diba? ang wealthy people, they can differentiate themselves from the masses because they can eat what they want whenever they want it. Di ba? I mean, in all honesty, yung daing na bangus, I mean, minsan hinahanap natin yan, di ba? So, pero yung mayayaman, I can get that when I want. And I can also get my black Angus or my, di ba? My steak whenever I want it. So, ganun lang. Ang importante is, nalalaman natin na yung buhay ang inaano mo. So, let's define financial planning. Financial planning is a process of achieving one's life's goals through the proper management of one's finances. So, ano yung importante? Ano yung ginagawa mong proseso para ma-achieve mo yun? So, it's not important yung finances. Ang importante yung life goals, hindi ba? Yung fulfillment of your dreams. Yun yung ginagawan mo ng paraan. And that's why you need the money to fuel it. As I've said, hindi naman lahat ng mahirap hindi masaya eh. May mga mahihirap na masaya, 'di ba? Pero anong gusto mo? Mahirap na masaya o mayaman na masaya? Palagay ko naman alam natin siguro yung choice diyan na mas maganda, hindi ba?
Mayaman na masaya, sir. Yan ang gusto namin.
Yes.
Ang ganda na sinabi ni sir. Sir, to be honest, of course, a lot of our kababayans are misinformed or uninformed, including me. Kasi pag inisip natin financial planning, una natin iniisip ako, yun talaga, pera, ito pagpaplano ng pera. But it's really not about that. It's about life. You invest for your goals, sabi nga ni Sir Rex. Professor, go ahead.
Yeah, talking about really planning and investing, can you tell us about your firm right now, Rampver Financial Advisors, and what does what separates it from the other firms that are in the Philippines right now?
Professor, sa amin, let me start with the name itself. A lot of people are quite confused by the name Rampver. What is Rampver all about? In my past life, I'm also a marketer. It's not just finance. Actually, I had the double major, marketing and finance ako eh. So when I worked for a little while in Ayala Land, I shifted from my finance to the marketing and sales side, no? And kung mapapansin nyo, dyan ko inumpisahan sa Ayala Land yung tinatawag na brand architecture. DJ Dudes, before I got into Ayala Land was Ayala Land. You don't see names like Alveo, Abida, Amaya. Yung brand architecture na yan, team ko ang gumawa niyan. It's a very powerful team. I was just, so lucky that I have this luxury of working with them. Real intelligent people. Pero dun ko nakita yung mga conjugations, no? Abida is a toast to life. A-vida. Di ba? It's like having the life you want. Amaya is kaya ko na. So lahat yan may meaning. Ang Rampver is a conjugation of two words as well. Ramp is a connector between 2 points, one higher than the other. It signifies our attempt to become an enabler for our clients. Di ba? Ang ver is intrinsic value, genuine and true. It's the root word of veritas, di ba? Yung truth. So, put that together, that really pushes what we want to tell people. And yan ang hahanguan ko ng answer ko sa iyo, Professor, because The difference between Ramper and a lot of financial distributors and financial services firms in the Philippines is this, that we're not affiliated with anyone. Kasi dito sa Philippines, di ba, meron ditong parang laging proprietary agency or proprietary distribution. If you want an investment and you're buying it from a company like Sun Life, di ba? When you choose a Sun Life agent, Sun Life lang ang mabibili mo. Di ba? You choose a Pru Life agent, Pru Life lang mabibili mo. We're not in the same sophisticated environment like the US and probably Guam, where you have what we call independent financial consultants. Okay? Sa Philippines, Ramper is the first. Ramper is not connected with any, so we're connected with all. So by affiliation in terms of companies, we have deals with all of the principals. Number two, we cut across all products as well. So we don't have to force an insurance product on you, a healthcare product on you. No, we have everything naman eh. We have life, non-life, investments, UITFs, mutual funds, lahat yan. Name the company, we have it with us. So what happens now when a financial advisor of Ramper, talks to you? It will be your best interest on the table. Kasi hindi naman namin kailangan ipilit sa iyo ito isang produktong to eh. Kasi we handle everything. We can deal with all of these companies and we can practically represent for you. It's a very different mindset, We're not representing the company. We're actually representing you to all of them. And because of that, we also have this capability to provide due diligence. Kasi syempre, ka-deal namin sila, alam namin silang lahat, may experience kami. So pag sinabi mo ang pera mo dollar, gusto mo ng investment na dollar, we can tell you the best performing dollar funds in the Philippines. We can tell you the top 3. Pero kung gusto mo naman equity funds, ang equity funds nahahati pa yan. May mga index fund, may mga tinatawag na managed alpha funds, yung mga top brass na ganyan. So sasabihin namin sa iyo, per particular bracket, anong risk niyan at sinong pinakamagaling dyan. So at the end of the day, what we realize is this. Lahat naman pala ng kumpanya may magagandang produkto eh. Ang problema, hindi mo alam kung ano yun. Pero pagkausap kita, since I'm from the company, I'll tell you we're the best in everything. Pero actually, we're going to be a best in 1 or 2 products. Now, Ramper knows that. So pagkaharap ka namin, ito ang need mo. Kasi lagi namin sinasabi, we always match products with needs eh. So we need to sit down, interview you, know your needs. Tas kung yun ang interest mo, then we will draw the product that's best for you. We're not peddling you anything. Kasi konektado naman kami sa lahat. Meron kami ng lahat. So tama ang ibibigay namin. That's the differentiation I want to have for Ramper Financials.
Professor, thank you so much for that question. Ang ganda ng paliwanag ni Sir Rex. Nakakabuhay ng pag-asa. And of course, I really appreciate the inclusivity na ang dami nating mga networks. You are not connected to anyone. That's why you are connected to everyone. That's amazing. And sir, tulad nga po ng mga naipaliwanag nyo, kailangan talaga yan. Lalo na po ng ating mga kababayan. Kasi yung iba, gusto naman talagang umunlad. Sino ba naman ang hindi, di ba? Pero talagang hindi natin minsan alam kung saan magsisimula, kung sino ang magtuturo, kung ano yung mga pamamaraan. So, ang nangyayari po, nababalot na lang sila ng takot, di ba? Now, sir, my question is, mayroon po bang pag-asa yung mga tinatamad? May pag-asa po ba yung mga natatakot? May pag-asa po ba yung, napaka-minimal or walang alam pagdating po sa pera? May pag-asa pa po ba?
Naku, I can tell you directly, DJ Dudes, talagang meron. Kasi kami, we have the stories to prove it. We have a client, no? Yan, si Miss Jung has been an advisor for us for the longest time. Alam mo bang may client siya? Siya mismo, bus driver. From 1999. Ang may ilalagay lang yan, 1,000, 1,500, kadalasan 1,000 lang. Pero pag Christmas, medyo nakakadilhen siya. He will add 2,000, 3,000. Medyo pinakamataas na number na nakita niya, 5,000. Do you know that person who just started and continuously did it, di ba, is a millionaire today? Talo pa niya yung mga manager ng mga kumpanya, mga matataas ang sweldo. Kasi, dire-diretso siya, tuloy-tuloy siya. May mga tao tayong kababayan. ang lalaki ng sweldo pero ang net worth negative kasi mas marami pang utang kaysa dun sa naitabi. Di ba? So what does that tell you? Pwede kasi siya, disiplina lang ang sagot niya. Wala nga siyang acumen, wala nga siyang financial capability, wala siyang financial information or education. He just continuously saved and invested. Talagang tuloy-tuloy lang. Through hell or high water, ano man ang nangyayari, naglalagay siya. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? It's just to start. I guess that's the hurdle that we have. Alam nyo, karamihan ng Pilipino, like ngayon, I'm sure, sa dami ng nakikinig sa inyo ngayon, I'll let you know that many of those guys would have probably taken or somehow experienced a eureka moment while we are talking. May tinamaan dyan, eureka moment, di ba? But what will they do about it? May mga taong a-action may mga taong mag-execute. May mga taong excited lang, oh, totoo, no? Pero pag uwi niyan, mamaya nakalimutan na, tapos wala siyang gagawin. Yun ang problema natin. And I repeat this many, many times. Education without execution is entertainment. Education and learning and all of this information, they are nothing if you don't execute on it. They become entertainment. Mabuti pa ginawa nyo na lang si Vice ganda, napatawa pa sila. Kasi entertainment rin lang yung habol natin. Kailangan mo ng execution. You have to do something about it. And as I've said, the hurdles are not even high right now. 1,000, 5,000. Siguro kung talagang merong 10,000. But guys, that's a ticket to joining and maybe taking part of the best companies in the Philippines or the best companies in this region. Di ba? So can you just imagine when the tide turns and COVID gets solved? Siyempre, lahat ng mga kumpanyang yan are gonna prosper again, di ba? Sabi nga ni Jack Ma, what doesn't kill you makes you better. So, lilipad lahat yan. 2022, we're seeing that, after all of these vaccinations. So, kawawa naman tayo if we got into the pandemic, the same person who's going to go out of it. Dapat, that person who entered the pandemic should be a lot less than the person coming out of it. The person coming out of it should have grown more, should have invested more, and should have probably done more for his loved ones, far better than the person who entered the pandemic. Dapat ganun ang trust nating lahat.
Sir Rex, thank you so much. I do have one more question na po. Sir, bakit po ang bait-bait nyo? Saan po nanggagaling yung drive nyo para ibahagi ito? Sir, we know that you are a boss of so many companies. I mean, you can choose to just relax, di ba po? Enjoy life, private life. But you chose to establish Rampver. Nagbabahagi kayo ng gantong mga klaseng kaalaman. Not just kaalaman, but you are really preparing vehicles for people who want to, of course, grow. Saan po nanggagaling yung drive?
DJ Dudes, iba na yung currency. Hindi na pera yung currency ngayon. You're gonna get to that time when iba na yung nag-e-excite sa'yo. And I guess that's also one of the reasons why I joined the mastermind of Brother Bo Sanchez. No? Iba na yung spirituality, yung charitable giving, ibang-iba na. In that particular mastermind group, there are even people who are far more successful than I am. But when we discuss things, we think about Mercy Ministries, yung mga street children ng He Cares Foundation, yung mga matatanda ng Anawim. We think about those people. We think about how to be able to give back. Kasi iba na yung nagiging currency. Hindi ka na ganun ka-excited dun sa mga bagay that excited you before. And that's the reason why somehow you take your game to another level. Iba na yung parang ika nga nag-e-excite sa'yo. Example, yung 2 libro na yan. They're all national bestsellers. Up till today, each and every book that gets sold has a royalty. Do you know that from the very start, day one, DJ Dudes, day one, pinramis ko lahat ng royalties, lahat ng kita ng librong yan, go straight to charity. From the very, wala akong kinuhang pera dyan, lahat yan. Yung nangyari pa, magkaiba, no? Naging pro bono na, naging abono pa. Dahil di ba, kulang pa din So dadagdagan mo pa. Kasi nga, sometimes may nasirang bahay dito, may binagyo doon. So magko-contribute ka. But I'm not complaining about it. I know I'm making a difference. I know I'm making people happier. I'm saving them. Ako lagi kong sinasabi, ito kaninang umaga lang, I was like talking to one of our colleagues at Ramper. Ang sinasabi ko sa kanya, do you know that for every person we turn from a spender to an investor, we are saving a life. We are saving a life. From an investor to someone who will give back to his family and to people in need. Di ba? Iba na eh. Parang nag-graduate dun because nandun si Ramper, because inakay mo sila. So, di ba, ang tindi nung role mo na yon, and then, nothing beats that. And if I look back at all the material things I've collected, alam mo naman, also in my videos, I've shown that, no? Siguro naman, my life is an open book because of this YouTube channel, eh, di ba? Meron akong relo na mas mahal pa sa bahay ng iba, eh. Meron akong kotse na, na maybe talagang, minsan nga nakakatuwa eh, pag nagda-drive ka ng Ferrari, di ba? Ano yung next car mo? Maserati. Di ba? Parang ganun. Pero exciting pa ba yan? Hindi. Alam mo, pag sinayaw mo yung matanda na may demensya sa Anawim, iba yung dating sa'yo. Iba yung pakiramdam mo na may napasaya kang tao. Ibang-iba, talagang it lasts longer. It remains with you. Now, I'm not gonna say I don't like my watches and my cars anymore. I still do. I'm just being honest about it. But mag-iiba na yung pananaw mo sa buhay kasi iba na yung source of iba na yung source of energy, iba na yung source of inspiration. So that's the reason why I'm like this. It's more like I give back, and it's not giving back the wealth that I have. It's really giving back also the knowledge and the experience to people who are willing to listen.
Sir, thank you so much. We can really feel the happiness from your soul. Diba? Tumatagos talaga sa screen. Thank you so much, sir. At doon na sa kotse nyo, sir, kapag nagka-problema uli kayo na nakaharang doon sa isa nyo pang kotse na ilalabas, sir, nandito kami para iusog yun. Okay?
No, I just want to say to Sir Rex is, yung Rampver, what I can see is that it's a game changer. I've seen, in-explain nga ni Sir Rex yung model. And I think it's the new currency that Sir Rex really lives by. Ito kasi yung talagang, from what I'm hearing, is that it's selfless. It's really, you're really minding the interest of your clients. Eh. And that's really what makes it such a great business and such a great strategy. And Sir Rex, para sa ating mga tagapakinig, how can they reach one of your advisors, or how can they get in touch with Rampver?
Thank you, Professor. We're all over social media. No, we have a website, rampverfinancials.com. We have siguro kung talagang gusto nilang diretso kaming i-connect, parang maganda, that they have listened to your show. Just identify na, we're from Guam, and we listen to DJ Dudes and the Professor and Mr. Mendoza. info@rampver.com. Email us at info@rampver.com. Okay, so that's the email that we're trying to ask everyone to use so that we can engage with them. We also have a YouTube channel. Kasi yan yung napakaikli nitong radio program natin, and I've said a lot in terms of videos, in terms of topics, products, market, and personal development tips. I even had like what to teach your children so that they become wealthier than you. I even had a video on, what to do during the pandemic so that you take out all the, the mental issues that we all have. Happiness hack, so to speak. So I want them to check us out. Our YouTube channel is Rampver Financial. So YouTube, Rampver Financial. Sometimes you can just put Rex Mendoza, and I'm so sure one of our videos will pop up, and then watch it, subscribe, and then like our videos. That's very important to us. We will really appreciate it. We're also in Facebook. We have Instagram, so you can engage with us and sabihin na nating have an exchange that will proceed to like the guidance we're telling you. Ang isa nakakatuwa, many guys probably listening to us, most of them are from Guam, but you might just want to know on a daily basis what happens to the stock market in the Philippines, ano ang closing, ano ang presyo ng lahat ng investment funds. Kasi di ba, pinupost yan ng mga website, and you have to go to Sun Life, you have to go to ATR, you have to go to PhilEquity, you have to go to First Metro. Bago mo pa makuha lahat ng pricing mo, 'di ba? Walong website ang kailangan bisitahin mo. You know, you can just go to Viber. Alam mo naman, sa Pilipinas, ang masikat sa atin, Viber, hindi WhatsApp eh. Viber, and we have a public group there called Rampver Front Seat. Rampver Front Seat gives you a front seat to the Philippine market. Every day we post all the NAVs of all the funds. We post the closing prices in the Philippine Stock Exchange, yung closing nung index. Kahit pa paano, it gives you a bit of an idea what's happening to your home, 'di ba? To your home country. So, ganun lang. Parang you don't have to engage. You're just going to look at whatever is posted there. Wala namang bayad po 'yan. So, we can continue this growth journey together. Yun lang yung sa akin. So, if you can join us in all of those platforms, then masaya po. Magiging masaya tayo dito.
Okay, bros and sis, just look sa Facebook, Rampver, or Sir Rex Mendoza. Sa Instagram, nandun din syempre ang ating mga friends. And their email address is info@rampver.com. And then YouTube, please connect sa ating mga kaibigan and you will be thankful. Katulad namin, sobrang thankful po namin ngayon, Sir Rex Mendoza. Maraming salamat po sa iyo. We can thank you enough sa dami ng aming natutunan. And sir, thank you. Kasi hindi lang basta natuto eh. Nakakabuhay talaga kayo ng dugo. Nakakabuhay talaga kayo ng pag-asa. I really love what you have said. Education without execution is just entertainment, di ba? Lumipas ang oras, sige, na-entertain ka, pero then tomorrow, ano nangyari kung hindi mo ito kikilusan? Ang ganda talaga ng sinabi niyo. Again, that is just one of the many things that we have learned today. Sir Rex Mendoza, maraming salamat po sa inyo and to the team of Rampver. God bless you at sana talagang marami pa po kayong matulungan. Marami kayong napapasaya. Ibilang nyo na po kami dalawa dito ni Professor at lahat ng mga naikinig sa atin and of course who are watching this video. Again, Sir Rex Mendoza, one more time po, please invite our kababayan na talagang naghahanap po ng liwanag ng pag-asa. Lalo na kailangan po natin ngayon yan.
So friends, mga kababayan, we're in all social media channels. You can check us out on YouTube, Rampver Financials. We have a website, rampver.com. Yung palang isang tanong kanina ni Professor, yung 10 years to go na retiree, you can even use our investment calculator there. No? Based on the fund that you're looking at, the kind of yields, at kung magkano i-set aside nyo, mako-compute nyo kung magkano magiging retirement money nyo. So, there is an investment calculator that you can play around with there, and we're also in Instagram, we're in Facebook, so we can engage. Now, let us know if you're interested. Alam nyo, we can really do a full-blown program. No, we can do a webinar that's going to be hitting things that are going to be sabihin na nating mas comprehensive when it comes to investments. But again, at the tail end of the day, always see us as a partner. Always see us as a friend who's going to hold your hand and be part of your journey, because that's who we are. I mean, we're not here simply for the business. We're not here simply for